Hello there everyone, so I'm Matthew Stewart. I work at Local Government East, which is the membership body for all 50 local authorities in the east of England. Put your hands up if you're from a local authority here. It's good to see you all. I'm so sorry. No, for the next, hopefully less than 20 minutes, unfortunately I'll be going through your nightmares. But everyone else needs to know what's going on, so that's very, very important. Moving onwards, local government reorganisation. So what is local government reorganisation? That's what I'm here to talk to you about today. I'm here to talk to you about how that's going to work. So essentially, all of the existing county and district authorities and boroughs in the east of England are going to be abolished. Or every single one of them, no exceptions. They will be replaced by unitary authorities. Now, these unitary authorities, these new authorities, are going to handle everything that the previous authorities, if there's an asterisk there, ignore it, I'll cover it later. They will cover most of the services that the previous authorities would have handled at that stage. So, first, there's a couple of questions for those who don't necessarily know a huge amount about local government. I understand, it's okay, not many people do. What is a district and what is a county? So the districts are very small authorities, so the ones they handle incredibly important services like planning. Planning, so if you do have to do a planning application, that's them. Absolutely. They handle voting, leisure centres. Bins is the most important one, they're incredibly important. We wouldn't be able to survive without that. Very, very small. We're talking organisations with a few hundred people, maybe a core spending power of, sort of in the 15 million, sort of give or take a few million, which sounds like a lot, but compared to county councils, which are the much bigger ones, these are big, strategic. They cover the whole of the county. Suffolk, Norfolk, your big examples there, Essex. You're looking at core spending powers of hundreds of millions. In Essex's case, I think it's like 1.5 billion. We're talking big organisations with massive footfalls, large amounts of procurement, and they tend to focus on more strategic things. Adult social care and children's social care are also their big areas of focus. That's a lot of what they focus on. A lot of their budget goes that way as well. So that's sort of what they're doing. The idea is with local government reorganisation is that these two different kinds of local authorities will be no more. They'll be replaced by unitary authorities that will handle all of this at a slightly smaller geography than a county, but bigger than a district. But the services will essentially be folded together into one authority that will exist over a given geography. Now, I'm just a bit of personal disambiguation here, because the government's helpfully decided to run two agendas around local government at exactly the same time. There's local government reorganisation, LGR, and then there is devolution as well. These are not the same processes. They can run at different times. They are doing different things. They just happen to share the same timeline, because we like to be confusing. So LGR is what we're talking about today. That involves abolishing the old authorities and creating the new authorities. There'll be a timeline about that in a second. I'll go into that detail. Devolution is about creating what are called strategic authorities. You may know them more as mayors, essentially. We're talking your Andy Burnhams, those sorts of things. That's what devolution is all about. It's about creating these new strategic authorities that will help be a champion for a given area and will help try and support what's going on in that particular sub-region. So there'll be a mayor and a strategic authority to go with them for Suffolk and Norfolk. There'll be one for the greater Essex system. But they're not there to replace county councils. Just because they're the same sort of size geographically as county councils, the scale is completely different. I mean, the combined authority, the Cambridgeshire and Peterborough combined authority, for example, has a head count of just under 150 people. It's not that big, not compared to the thousands of people that are currently employed by Suffolk. So it's a different ballgame. So, what's happened? Where are we on episode 325 of this latest local government drama now? At the moment, last year, council submitted their bids for what they want their areas to look like. To say this was a politically disputed topic would be a bit of an understatement, but they everywhere submitted several different bids as to how they would like their area to look. And we have the answer now, as of last month, to 3 areas: Suffolk, Norfolk, and Essex. We now know that there will be 3 local authorities in Norfolk, there will be 3 local authorities in Suffolk, there will be 5 local authorities in Essex. We now know that answer. For the rest of the region, so Hertfordshire and Cambridgeshire, they're going through this process, they're still going through this process, but we're not going to find out till summer. We don't know exactly when in summer, we're thinking May, June, sometime in summer. Bedfordshire, if you're from Bedfordshire, you're lucky, you've just sidestepped the whole of this. You're already unitary authorities, you're fine. Absolutely. Beautiful as you are. So I mean, there are these lovely, big, very detailed maps online on the House of Commons library. Have a look if you just want to see where your village falls, whether you fall in East Norfolk or West Norfolk or whereabouts in Essex in those 5 authorities. Have a look. They're very good, very detailed. But for the sake of the presentation, I'm just going for something a little bit simpler. You can see there's the thick lines are the new authorities, the little lines are the old authorities. So you can see it's split into 3 in the north in Norfolk. In the middle, you've got 3 in Suffolk. There's another one there. And there's 5 local authorities in Essex. And fantastic. So, oh, nearly got that. So, brilliant. So we know our boundaries now, at least for those particular areas, and we're waiting for the ones in Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire. What next? What happens now? Very busy couple of years for local authorities in particular. So the transition period will start now. I mean, literally as recently as a couple of weeks ago, there are, like, implementation teams are in place. People are getting named as heads of their LGR. Cogs are turning as we speak. Someone you know will probably be involved in it in the local authorities that you are negotiating with on a daily basis. 7th of May, local elections. Go vote. All of you go vote in your local elections if they're on in your area. But they will be taking place and people will be elected there. They are going to look after what's left of the old authorities. They're going to be there for 2 years and they're going to look after Suffolk and Norfolk as they move to that transition process where they will be abolished and replaced. Now, when are they going to be replaced? That's the end of the timeline there. 1st of April 2028. That's the vesting day. That's when the new authorities will spring into life from the chrysalis of counties to become butterflies, I suppose. I didn't really think that analogy through. But at that point, they need to be safe and legal authorities. At that point, they start taking on legal responsibility for everything that a council should be doing. Until that point, it still sits with the existing districts, the existing boroughs, the existing counties. That's what's happening. So between the elections and then, what needs to be done? Just a small matter of making several new authorities, I suppose. 11 different new authorities. They'll be designed in the background. What will happen first is the structural change order. That sounds very, very dry, but essentially that's the piece of paper that goes through government that says, we want this to look like this. Okay, let's make it happen. Cool, that's good. Another thing will come up called a Section 24 that will, sounds very technical, but basically it means that if one of the old local authorities wants to make a big decision, like procurement, something like that, a big decision, a big purchase, they will need to ask the new authorities and the representatives of the new authorities for permission, essentially. Representation of the new authorities. What's going on? Where did the new authorities come into this? Well, joint committees are being set up as we speak. Joint committees will be made up of 50-50 county and district people. They will be making decisions on behalf of the authority for the time being. They will try and guide the organisational process. They'll be the people that the old authorities will be speaking to when they want to make decisions that might impact the new authority. Now, that will be the case until May 2027, where new councillors will be elected for these new authorities. So there is going to be a period of 1 year where there are literally 2 sets of councillors. There will be the old councillors that will look after the old organisation, and there'll be a bunch of councillors who are looking forward to the new organisation. That's going to lead to some really interesting discussions, I'm sure, but it's just to make sure that everyone's well represented and that these new organisations have the best chance in life to go on and succeed. So I'm sure, hopefully you have a lot of questions, but thank you very much for listening to me. I hope that's cleared things up rather than muddy them up even further. I appreciate it's a complicated thing, but I was really glad to be here today, and thank you so much.